On July 18th, in London, Josh Kerr ran a mile in 3 minutes and 42.66 seconds. That beat a record that had stood for 27 years, set back in 1999. Here's what almost no one's talking about, though. Most of the technology built into that run that he used to help him train existed to slow him down, not speed him up. Kerr called the project Project 222 for the 222 seconds he was chasing. He trained at altitude in Albuquerque, New Mexico. He slept in a home altitude chamber. He wore an Amazfit tracker that measured heart rate variability and recovery scores every single day for 8 months. The athletic followed the entire buildup. The obvious read here is that all of it pushed him harder. It did, in a way, but it didn't mostly. His coach, Danny Mackey, read those numbers mainly to catch overtraining before it wrecked the work already done. Here's why that matters. It's all about recovery. In endurance training, the workout itself is the stress. The gains show up later during sleep, during rest, when the body actually rebuilds. Push past that line without enough recovery, and you don't go faster, you break down. So the single highest value number Kerr tracked wasn't how hard he'd run, it was how ready his body was to run hard again. He called the approach stacking. Small gains, protected week after week instead of chased all at once and maybe lost to injury. Now, hold that up against how most companies build their dashboards. They want more leads, more tickets closed, more code shipped, more usage. Every number on the screen is tuned to reward output. Almost none of them are built to tell you when the output itself may be the problem. That's the organizational version of overtraining. Teams hit every target for a quarter, 2 quarters, 3 quarters, and then crack under a load nobody tracked in the first place. Duolingo ran into its own version of this last year. That's the language application. In April 2025, their CEO told the company he'd start scoring employees on how much they used AI. Well, usage climbed fast. You measure. Then managers noticed something underneath those numbers, though. People were reaching for AI on tasks that really didn't need it. The metric was going up. The work wasn't getting better, though. They scrapped that requirement. Duolingo kept investing in its people, in their judgment about when a tool actually helps, when you need AI, and then kept growing headcount and developing people when actually their competitors were cutting jobs. Removing that number was the disciplined move, that metric. It's the same instinct Kerr's coach had every single morning as he read those recovery scores. When do you go harder? When do you pull back? So here's what I'd encourage you to do with this. First, build the break. Add at least one metric to your own dashboard that tells you when to slow down or stop, right alongside the ones that reward speed and output. Next, name your upper limit. Find the one function in your business where you're pushing a number so hard that maybe quality, customer trust, or your people are close to breaking under that weight. And then third, protect the recovery. Treat slack, rest, pauses as an asset, not a scheduling inconvenience or dead weight. Defend the time the same way you defend budget or headcount. Downtime can be restorative and let you go faster. Underneath the altitude chamber and the wearables, Kerr's real advantage was never the technology itself. It was a system built to tell the difference between effort and progress. Most organizations have never built that difference into how they read their own numbers or how they lead their people. The fastest mile in history belonged to the runner who knew exactly when to hold back in his training. That's the reframe, so you can leapfrog the headlines, your leadership, and your business. Subscribe so you don't miss the next one, and find me at sorenkaplan.com. And if you like this podcast, please follow it and give it a rating or a like.